Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tokyo Anime Zone. Today we're in Ikebukuro, Tokyo, paying homage to the classic 2010 anime Durarara. Now if you're not familiar with Durarara, that's okay. I'm not going to judge you too much, just a little bit. But Durarara was originally a light novel that was adapted into an anime series that all takes place right here in Ikebukuro. Yes, these very streets I'm sitting in right now all take place in the anime. That being said, you can go across the city and find all these real life locations from the anime itself. That's exactly what I plan to do today with you guys. Now, I'm a little bit worried though because of COVID-19. Many places have closed down recently, including Tokyo Hands and the Sega Game Center. So before these places get destroyed for good, I hope to go and kind of document it and show what locations from the anime are still standing, and hopefully see a few maybe supernatural elements like a headless rider. Who knows? We'll see. So let's get out in the streets and find some real life locations. Let's go, guys.
最近はカラーギャングも減ったよ。去年あたりは目立つの多かったんだけど、埼玉と抗争やって何十人もパクられてさ。
First up on our list of Ikebukuro landmarks is none other than Sunshine Dori, or Sunshine Street. This famous road is one of Ikebukuro's busiest areas for shopping, and it's where you often find characters from the series, including Shizuo and Izaya, who can often be seen fighting here. Whoa, hold up. Stop just a bit. Did you guys see that? I think I just saw our next landmark. Let's go back just a bit. And stop. Right there. Zoom in. And there we go. Our next landmark. This area is also shown for a brief moment in the first opening. Alright guys, we come to our first location for Durarara. As you can see here, we found Sunshine Dori, which is just like in the anime. Despite the chaos of the show, this street is actually quite lovely. As you walk through it, you can find all these nice little cafes, and it even plays smooth jazz as you walk through it. Of course, Sunshine Dori isn't always sunshine and musical notes. Sometimes you end up getting blasted by a fire hydrant and ramming into a vending machine. I mean, am I right? Who's been there before? I'm sure we all have. Or when you have to hit the streets and sell some Russian sushi. Sushi good, but it doesn't always work out too well.
Mission failed!
I was happy to see a lot of Ikebukuro hasn't changed in the years following the anime. When I first watched the anime, it had quite the impact on how I viewed Japan. You know, I thought of Ikebukuro as this giant, interconnected cityscape where anything and everything could happen. And to see these places from Durarara once again, it really takes me back to when I was 15 years old and I would fantasize about life in Tokyo. Of course, the biggest change was the closing of Tokyo Hands, a popular landmark on the show, and the scene where Mikado first caught on the power of the dollars. I managed to check it out, and it's last week before closing, and it's a real shame to see such an iconic building go, but hopefully it will not remain a giant empty building for too long, because, you know, constant change is part of the allure of Ikebukuro. If everything just stayed the same all the time, things would get dull. Speaking of change, one thing you may find interesting is that the private high school that Mikado and the gang attend, Durarara Academy, is actually non-existent. And that was not something that closed down, that was something that has never existed in the first place. However, the backdrop to the private high school, there's a bridge and a tower and a tall building. That actually does exist. And I visited that. You can see the tower along with the tall building, which is actually a gym, and the highway next to it. I do just want to say real quick that while Ikebukuro is a very, very cool place, for sure, please don't expect like anything supernatural or anything crazy to happen to you if you happen to come to the city. So if you go, please don't expect to see any ridiculously strong people throwing vending machines or any sleazy information brokers with knife skills, and especially don't expect to see any headless riders, you know, speeding through the streets. I think the craziest thing I've ever seen in terms of Durarara like supernaturalness was one time I saw this kind of fat guy on a scooter delivering Uber, and he had the same helmet as Salty did, so that was pretty exciting, I guess. One particular place that stood out to me was the road that the main trio often walked to after school. This is also seen in the very first opening. Now, while Durarara Academy might not be real, The road itself is an exact copy of the one in real life. When I went, I happened to catch it right at sunset, and it looked exactly like it did from the opening. This spot was absolutely gorgeous. It was so nice, in fact, for a second I was like, wait, am I in the anime? It's definitely one of the best real-life spots I managed to find on my tour of Ikebukuro, and one that I would definitely recommend to any Durarara fans that come here. While it's true that even after spending all day and all night walking through Ikebukuro, I didn't see any headless riders or any color gangs or any flying vending machines for that matter, I did find myself relating to Mikado Origamine when he first came here.
すごい。ネットや漫画でしか見たことのなかった世界が目の前に広がってる。
The city has a unique air about it that's different from the rest of Tokyo. You know, it's an interesting mix of like anime, otaku culture, big city shopping, and an underground shadiness that all mix together to give Ikebukuro its own unique flavor. While I'm sure the original author of the series, Ryogo Narita, also never saw any Doulahans or Psycho Blades, it's easy to imagine them actually existing here. You know, inside this, restless Ikebukuro, or the Yasumanai Ikebukuro, as it is known by some locals, it really does feel like anything, including something crazy like that, can occur. You know, living in the big city with so many crowds, it's very easy for people to blur into nothing. But after rewatching Durarara, it makes me look at every face that I pass by, and I wonder to myself, what's this person's story? And how we both connected to this city, and will we ever meet again? Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed reliving your 2010 glory days. For me, those were my edgy teen years, and I was watching Death Note and Durarara and Bleach. I'm curious how old you guys were when you first watched Durarara. Let me know down in the comments below. Oh, and one more thing. I just want to thank you guys again for the 1,000 subs. It's literally insane. I cannot believe it. Thank you guys so much. That being said, I have tons more in the zone videos planned for you guys, so I hope you guys stick around for more. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.